Hello, welcome to Drive-Thru Review number 80. Today I'm going to talk about PAX. It is a game from Iron Games. It plays actually 1 to 4 players. Solitaire game is pretty good, but it's better with more players. If you saw at the beginning, I called this Biblios Killer, sort of as the subtitle. I don't usually like to explain that part of my video, but I think I will mention a little bit about that here. Biblios is a game I'm a huge fan of. There's a lot of people that are huge fans of Biblios, and I've seen some people think it's brainless. I don't agree with that, obviously, but that's okay. So this kind of takes Biblios, the whole kind of card choosing, card drafting, sort of looking at a card one at a time thing, and adds on a little bit extra on top of it. So this is a newer game for me, and obviously sometimes the newness wins out over the oldness because of, freshness. So it's a little trepidatious. I call it Biblios Killer. I don't like to directly say something is a killer usually of another game, but this game has a layer of theme to it that Biblios really doesn't have much of a theme. But the theme actually surprisingly fits. The more I played it, the more sort of the theme came across as I was able to kind of forget, okay, this is just like Biblios, but this is different. And then the theme actually erupted out of a session. So anyway, let me just show you a little bit about how it works, and I'll come back and tell you again that I like it. Okay, quick little breakdown of all the cards in the game. You got some money cards, stack of 2s, stack of 1s. You start with 5 of these in your hand, or 5 coins worth to start the game. And you got these tent cards here. And I've got it set up for a 3-player game. Basically, you lay out enough tents for all the players plus 1. It comes with a 5th tent, so it puts up to 4. So then you've also got the Trader card, the Primus Conspiratus card. That'll change hands throughout the game. And then sort of the start player for the round, and that could also change throughout the game. Now you've got a giant stack of your main cards, and there's 7 different types of cards here. You can see there's a variety of cards in here, and these are the cards you're going to be drawing and dealing and placing throughout the game. To start the game, you're going to go ahead and fill these in here underneath these tents, and you'll actually have 3 face down cards above here, and you're not going to look at those in the game. There's an ability that'll give you a chance to look at those, but for the most part you won't look at those. So above the tents there is basically Rome, and all of the players are going to be competing against Rome and against each other. So depending on the number of players and where you're sitting on the turn order, you may start with 1 or more of these cards just to begin the game with. But on your turn, you're going to go through the 4 basic steps. So on your turn, you're going to go through these basic 4 steps. The first thing you're going to do is draw and draft and place 3 cards. Then you're going to be able to buy some cards if you choose. And then you can play some cards if you choose in front of you. And then after you play some cards, you will get some money. So let's look at that first step. So on your turn, you're going to draw 3 cards one at a time. So you draw 1 card. Now this can go any one of 3 places. It can go out here to one of these tents, so you'll place it like so you can see the coins. Or you're going to keep the card for your hand, or you're going to place it underneath the deck. And you can only go one of these spots once on your turn. So if I just put that under the deck, the next card I'm going to draw I can either place out here or keep. Let's say I'll place it here, and the next card I have to keep. So I draw that and I keep it. And that's it. Now I have the ability to buy any one of these stacks. And you're basically going to pay however many coins are showing. So this stack would cost 3 coins, this one would cost 5, and so on. Don't have to buy a stack, but if you want to, you can. So let's say I had enough money, I spent the money into the bank here, and drew these cards. Now I can place cards in front of me. And the first card that I place in front of me is going to be free. If I wanted to place 2 cards, the second card that I can place in front of me is going to cost me $1 or a coin. Now the third card is going to cost me 2 coins, and so on. So you get 1 free placement, and then additional placements you have to pay for. And what you do is you try to place these, kind of grouped. There's 7 different cards, 7 different groups. So if I put all my blue ships here, I'd place them like so. And if I had more of these temples here, I'd place them like this in front of me. Now after you've placed cards, you're going to draw money out of the bank based on the highest stack that you placed a card into. So let's say I had all of these in front of me already, and I wanted to place 2 cards in front of me. So I could place this one to start a new stack there, and then I could place this card. So this was the highest stack that I played into for that turn. So I'm going to get money equal to the number of cards in that highest stack. So I'd get 3 coins back. So I would have placed 1 for free. This card would actually cost me a coin for being my second card, and then I would immediately get 3 coins back out. Now if you choose not to place any cards, then you can just take 2 coins out of the bank. So you're going to go around the table, everybody's going to do a turn like that. They're going to draw cards and place cards, optionally buy cards, and then optionally play cards in front of them, and then maybe receive a certain amount of money out of the bank. After everybody's gone around and done that, then Rome is going to grab some cards. So let's just, for argument's sake, say these were all the cards that were underneath these tents at the end of the round. So what Rome is going to do is it's going to grab the column that has the most money worth of cards. So in this case, it's pretty obvious that this has 8 coins worth of cards. So you're going to take that and give that to Rome. So you're going to keep playing until you're basically run out of this deck of cards. And then you're going to take and compare all of the symbols that everybody has. So here I've got a really ideal setup for one player. So what you're going to look at is the symbols on all 7 of these cards. So you can see this one here has one sort of temple. Now the cards are broken down into basically a left and right side of the top of the card. So the left side is you're just counting these symbols at the end of the game and comparing them to Rome, basically. The right side is the effect that all of these cards will do, and I'll talk about that in just a second. So what you're going to do is all the players are going to compare their stacks to Rome stacks. And if the players collectively beat Rome in 4 categories, then the players are going to win, and one of the players is going to be the ultimate victor. Now if you don't, let's say all the players, we only beat Rome in like 2 categories, Rome got a whole bunch of cards and we didn't do any good, then whoever has this conspirator card is going to be the automatic winner of the game. Otherwise, whoever has this card is going to get basically 1 extra point for having this card. Now if Rome doesn't win, then you're going to use this scoring matrix here to figure out who won. So in the first level here, you can see you get 2 points for each category that you started. Doesn't matter how big it is, you get 2 points for each color you started. So diversity is rewarded in this case. Now for each category that you beat Rome in, let's say we beat Rome in swords and these scrolls here, you're going to get 3 extra points. And then you're going to get 1 point for each ship symbol and shield symbol. And that's on these warrior and ship cards. But the thing to remember about these, and I'll talk about this in a little bit more detail in a second, is for every 3 ship symbols, it actually grants you an extra shield symbol. And the same with the shields, every 3 shield symbols will give you an extra ship. So for the purposes of the final round scoring, you get sort of a bonus point. So you're going to count the shields up as well. And as I said, the player who had the conspirator card gets a point. And then whoever has the most money left at the end of the game, plus cards in hand, basically the cards sort of equal 1 money in that case, will get 4 points. If people are tied, then they'll both get 4 points. And in that case, you just total up all the points, and whoever has the most is the winner. Now let's talk about the card effects. So first we'll start with these forests here. And what these forests mean is for each forest symbol that you can have that many ship or shield symbols. So I've got 2 forests here. That means I can have 2 ships and 2 shields. So I could play this card legally and this card plus 1 extra ship. Now I couldn't play this card with 2 ships because I only got 2 forests. So you're going to need to get the forest down first and then play your ships and shields. So if you have 2 forests, you can have 2 ships and 2 shields. Similar, you can have swords, and they do the same thing. So if I have 2 swords, then I can have 2 ships and 2 shields. Now you don't accumulate the forests and the swords. They don't add together. You can't have 4 of anything in this case. It's whatever you have the highest of. So if I had an extra sword, I could have 3 ships and 3 shields, not 5. It's you just take whatever you have the highest of, forest or swords, and then that's what you can have as far as your army goes. Now the difference between the forests and the swords is when you play a sword card from your hand to the board in front of you, then you can never collect any money that turn. So anytime you play a sword, you can't collect it no matter what other card you play. It doesn't matter any other card you play, you can't collect any. But whoever has the most swords up will immediately grab this conspirator card. So if you think Rome's going to win, for example, you may grab this and then, you know, kind of bet against the other players in that manner. And then, as I said before, the sort of special power of the shields and the ships is they actually add a bonus to each other. And that's all they really do. Plus you get points for them for each of the symbols at the end of the game. Now next here are these senators. So the senators are sort of like a one-time effect. Not only do you count these at the end of the game for purposes of comparing against Rome, but anytime you play a card and you play a senator card, you're going to get a bonus money. So if I had played on my turn, let's say this green and then this yellow card here, normally I'd get 2 money because this is the biggest stack that I happen to play into that turn. But because I played a senator on that same turn, I get a bonus money, so I get 3 money. Now these aren't cumulative or anything like that. So the next time I play a senator, I'm not going to get 2 extra money. It's just anytime you play a senator, you get +1 money of whatever you would have gotten that turn. And next we have these merchant cards. And so when you have a merchant in front of you, if you have 3 of them, you can see this power says 3 grapes equals -1 money. So whenever you go to buy something from underneath one of these tents, you actually will pay 1 less coin for every 3 grapes you have in front of you. So if I was going to buy this senator, he was under there, and I got 3 of these in front of me, instead of 3, it's going to cost me 2 coin. So these are quite nice for quickly acquiring extra cards from the buying round. Finally, we've got these temples here. And what these specifically mean is if you have 3 of these temples in front of you, then when you go to draft the cards, instead of doing 1 at a time, the first time you go to pull a card, you'll pull 2. And then you can either place one of these under the tent or back underneath, and then you draw your last card, and you can choose to keep either one of these. Now, if you had 6 temples, then you draw all 3 cards at once, and then you place them, you know, wherever you want, you know, 1 in each spot. So these are a way of sort of giving you a way to look ahead and make better decisions on your turn. That's pretty much it. If Rome wins, whoever has this card wins. If the players win, then you add up all the points, and whoever has the most points wins. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the overview. If you've played Biblios, you'll see right away that the whole card drafting, drawing cards 1 at a time, is the same, similar. It's got a lot of more to it in terms of theme. You've got sort of this somewhat cooperative, it's not really cooperative, but it's sort of everybody against the game, but not in a cooperative way because you're still trying to win and stab each other in the back. I'm having a difficult time talking about this, which probably means it's a good game because every time I have a hard time talking about a game, I think it's beyond me at least. So, but without giving away sort of strategies and kind of ruining it and spoiling it for you, we've had some real nice moments with this game. I played it with several different groups. I played it solo, and I played it mostly though with my lunchtime group. And we must have played it 4 or 5 times. And there were some nice moments in those last couple of games where, you know, there were surprises at the end. Somebody kind of shifted gears on us and was, you know, kind of holding things back. And so it's going to take a few plays, I think, to get into the whole idea of it and trying to take Rome down or maybe conspire with Rome and things like that. And the different 7 abilities are all pretty good, and there's sort of different attacks that you can take, you know, for your approach and your strategy. And I hate to use the word strategy because, I don't know, it's kind of luck. I mean, you can not get really the cards that you expect, but you can stay pretty nimble. It's not like you get hosed. There's no way to really get hosed. There's just, you know, basic decisions you're going to make on your turn as far as like what you play, what you keep, what you throw up for, not for auction, but, you know, for buying and things like that, and stacking certain, you know, columns to go to Rome, you know, because you don't have any of those anyway, or maybe you want Rome to get a whole bunch of cards. And no, I'm totally spoiling it for everybody anyway, but, you know, obvious things I think you could pick up when your first play or two anyway. So yeah, I mean, it's really amazing how compact this is, and it feels real thematic. You know, each of the different abilities does what, you know, it kind of goes with the picture on the card and things like that. And but yeah, this is definitely a game I would recommend. And you know, if I call the Biblios killer and Biblios is your favorite game, that's one of the games I really like, then I apologize. But so yeah, check this one out. I think it's pretty much available now. So yeah, take a look for it. Okay, thanks.